dig back into our book, Whales, so that we can practice the strategy of stopping and asking questions as we read. If you were in class with us, you would have a chart that we would be using to record our questions, but since you're not, we're going to ask you to grab a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, I'm going to ask you to just jot down number 1, 2, and 3, because there's going to be 3 places that we stop in today's reading that I'm going to invite you to stop and jot down any questions that you have about the things that you're learning and hearing about whales. So let's get started. Whales. Today we're going to learn all about, last week we learned about toothed and baleen whales, and today we're going to dig deeper into different types of baleen whales. So the first whale is the gray whale. The gray whale feeds differently from the way any other whale does. It swims on its side on the ocean bottom and pushes water out of its mouth between its baleen plates, stirring up sediment from the ocean floor. Then the whale draws back its tongue and sucks the sediment and any living things around it into its mouth. As the whale rises to the surface, it rinses its mouth with fresh seawater and swallows the catch. This method of bottom feeding is sometimes called grubbing. Gray whales once swam in both the North Atlantic and North Pacific Oceans in the shallow waters along the coast. Let's go ahead and stop here and jot down something that you might be wondering. I noticed that in the text it said that once swam in the shallow waters, and that's making me think that they don't swim there anymore. So maybe something I might be wondering is, why don't they live there anymore? I also might wonder what caused them to leave. The area. So go ahead and take a second and jot down something that you might be wondering. All right, let's keep reading. Now, because of whaling in the Atlantic, they live only in the North Pacific and Arctic seas. In the summer, the gray whales feed in the cold waters of the Arctic. In the winter, they travel about 10,000 miles to Mexican waters. There, the females give birth in the warm, protected lagoons along the Baja California Peninsula. The journey of the gray whales is the longest known yearly migration for any mammal. Look at this cute little guy. Kind of hard to see. With its long, streamlined body, its pointed head, and its thin flukes, the fin whale has the right shape to be a fast and nimble swimmer, and it is. The long grooves on its throat allow the throat to expand while the whale is feeding. Whales that have these grooves, such as the fin, mink, humpback, and blue, are called rorquals, from the Norwegian word for groove or furrow. Fin whales often work in pairs to round up and eat schools of fish. Fin whales are second only to blue whales in size. They can reach 70 to nearly 90 feet in length and weigh 80 tons. Go ahead and find where you wrote down your number 2 and jot down a question or something that you might be wondering about whales based on what you just heard. The minke whale is the smallest rorqual. It is 30 feet long and weighs 6 to 8 tons. Northern minke whales have a white patch across the top of each flipper. Southern hemisphere minke whales lack this marking. Minke whales are fast swimmers and can leap clear out of the water. Unlike many other whales, minks will often approach and swim around ships at sea, much the way that dolphins do. The blue whale, it's kind of hard to see here. The blue whale is bigger than the largest dinosaur that ever lived. Let's go ahead and stop here and ask some questions. Go to spot number 3 on your paper and jot down something that you might be wondering. The largest dinosaur may have been 100 feet long and weighed 100 tons, but the biggest blue whales are over 110 feet long and weigh more than 150 tons. That's the weight of 25 full-grown elephants. The heart of a blue whale is the size of a small car. A blue whale swims along the surface of the ocean up to a cloud of krill, opens its mouth wide, and sucks in 50 or more tons of water in one gulp. Then it opens its lips and strains out the krill through its baleen plates. In one day, a blue whale eats more than 4 tons of krill, about 40 million of these animals. Blue whales have been hunted for many years. Even though they're now protected, only small numbers of blue whales are found in the Antarctic or anywhere else in the world. So we're going to ask you to go ahead and share some of the questions, some of the things that you were wondering on the next slide. If you happen to be in class with us, if you were with us today, this is the part in the class where we would stop and you'd get an opportunity to share the questions or the things that you were wondering with your partner. Since you're not with us, we would love it if you would find somebody at home that you could talk to. Tell them a little bit about what you've learned about whales so far and maybe some of the things that you are wondering.